gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time. We are starting another podcast. We have a very special guest today by the name of Soulfury. He is one of the best killer mains you will ever go up against. May Lord have mercy on you if you go up against him. He is an absolute disgusting nurse player. I hope I never find him in the fog because I'm just pretty much going to be clinched the entire time. But just a reminder, we do not have notifications going. I appreciate all the follows. I appreciate all the alerts, but this is a podcast and we do not want any distractions. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything. But without further ado, let's get Soulfury in here. This fantastic, wonderful guy. I talked to him a lot yesterday. It was awesome. Let him in here. Here he is. Beautiful guy. Soulfury. Oh, wrong button. How you doing, guy? Your mic's not working. You didn't set up your mic. Yeah, that same problem yesterday. This is why we got in early yesterday, so we can work this out. Feels bad. That's okay. Had such a build up too.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, cool.
You look the exact same as you did yesterday.
Look, it's a comfortable hoodie, man. You know, like, what can I say? I enjoy wearing it and everything. It looks good. Which is tall wolves, you know, like, it's comfy, very, very comfy.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast and everything. It was awesome the way that you actually asked me because you found out that Tally was on it and he was talking about it and you're like, oh, sweet. And then you came over and followed me. And you're like, podcast win. So,
Wait,
that was really cool. I didn't even have to ask you.
Who's Tally?
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I don't know who Tally is.
All right, man.
But no, it's great to be here, dude. I'm looking forward to this and everything. But today's been a good day, and I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, dude, it's been a very exciting day. I'm glad that you got your network issues lined out and, got a watch party starting. I don't mean to bring that up. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good, dude. It's still a work in progress, but we deal with it as we deal with it, so can't really do anything about it, so do my best.
A lot of people think that streaming is really easy. You just hit the go live and then everything works great and, you don't ever have any problems. And they're wrong.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, just the go live button is the easiest part of it. After that, it's content creation and many other factors that form into it too.
Absolutely. So I don't think you've actually watched the podcast before, but what we do is we start from the beginning. So I'm going to ask, where did you grow up? How was your childhood?
So I grew up in Northern California. We ended up moving to Oregon right before high school, but I love being in California. It's still like my home away from home area. And as far as my childhood went, growing up in California and Oregon wasn't much of a difference. It was a little bit of being not used to being in Oregon and not knowing anyone was a bit rough, but I don't know, it was pretty normal for me. Definitely not in the middle class area or anything like that. So we had to work to pay our bills, and I had a job at 16, did odd ends around the neighborhood to help pay for stuff too growing up. So definitely have always worked most of my life, and straight out of high school went into the military.
Well, thank you for your service. What branch of the military were you in?
I was a crayon eater, the Marines. So, love my crayons.
Right on. And you went to high school in Oregon then?
Yeah. So high school, I graduated in 2008 in Oregon, and a little bit of college, but different story. But yeah, Oregon's where I went to high school at.
That's pretty cool. So you actually graduated a year before me. We could have went to high school together. That would have been big pogs.
Yeah, except for you were not a senior when I was, so I wouldn't have cared.
You better
take I was a nice guy, man. I was pretty much like a nerd growing up. A lot of 4.0 kind of thing, book smart and street smart at the same time. Good kid, never really gotten much trouble. I've never been grounded or from my parents or anything like that. Pretty straightforward. Went to school, did my homework on time, and got out of school with no clue what I wanted to do in life.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, not really, but so we talked a little bit yesterday, and you said that you went to college, and then you ended up backing out of college, and you were going for IT.
Yeah, so I actually started off going for nursing because I've always liked helping people. Part of the reason why I went into the military and everything. But with the GI Bill from that, I went to school and changed my major maybe like 9 months into it to IT because I've always loved video games and being around computers is something I've always been comfortable with. And, I've built my own PCs and stuff like that too. So IT felt like the right thing to do, except for didn't feel like I was learning anything to get my degree. And I was getting burnt out on all the classes that didn't pertain to the job. And so I ended up dropping out. But I'm probably like 2 or 3 terms away from my bachelor's if I wanted to go back.
So that's like really close, that, so you're almost at the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, I
But
was
I mean,
working full time and going to school full time and taking 16 credits at a time or more. So like it was just a lot of. I just burnt myself out on it, and haven't gone back yet. Maybe in the
yeah,
future, but
I could
not right
definitely
now.
see that after working and then taking that many classes. I can definitely see the burnout. But as far as gaming, what started off gaming? What games do you remember playing when you were your kid?
Man, I've been gaming since I could start walking for the most part. Man, like we grew up with um, we didn't have an Atari, but we did have the like old Nintendo playing Mario Brothers and stuff like that I do remember. Like I got into gaming because of Mario Brothers with my sister and my dad, and it kind of just like grew from there to where we pretty much had like almost every console since then. And I feel like I kind of like solidified myself with I knew I wanted to do something with gaming when Halo 2 came out on the Xbox, and I was extremely good. I went to like local tournaments and state tournaments and stuff, and so I've always enjoyed gaming. It's always been like a super big passion for me.
I wasted a lot of my childhood playing Halo 2. I can definitely say that. Did you play Xbox Connect?
What, Xbox Live?
No, they had this was a way to go around Xbox Live. It was a server that you could plug into your computer, and it was called Xbox Connect. And somebody would host a server, and you would join it. So it was kind of like a system link, but it was online.
No, I was a sweaty little 13-year-old being toxic in Xbox Live on Halo 2.
No, no, certainly not.
I
Certainly
was
not.
definitely a little monster, dude. Teabagging and everything. I mean, I still do it, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, in Halo, I've definitely done me some teabagging. Did a lot of super jumps.
Oh,
Did a lot
dude.
of sword. It was good. Everybody get really mad, but hey, it is what it is. It's a video game.
Oh, I'm stoked, man. The new one's coming out this year, and I can't wait to be playing it.
Isn't that one a battle royale?
That's undetermined yet. They haven't gone into much detail on what they're planning to do as far as the multiplayer goes, but it comes out end of this year, November, around the Halo anniversary. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
a huge
because I've
Halo
been
nerd. I'm gonna play it.
I've been like super pumped. Like they released that they were going to do a battle royale, and I was like, I am definitely here for that. That sounds fantastic.
They could
But
add a lot of like, unique things to it into that genre, and I think it can only be like good things. In all honesty, it's
yeah,
Halo, so I'm playing it regardless either way.
as long as they don't put jetpacks in it, I'll be good with it. But
Nah, not a jetpack fan, huh?
no, no,
Yeah, me
I
either.
hated
Don't
Halo
worry.
3.
I didn't
But
mind Halo 3, man. It was a good time. I like enjoyed all of them, different
it
little
was still
things.
fun to play. But like they added like all the other stuff, the bubble shields and all that other nonsense, and I'm like, I just want to shoot stuff. I miss the days of just coming in and shooting stuff, and that was
The
all I did.
simplified version. I get
Yeah.
it.
So what got you into streaming?
Man, I as far as like streaming goes, I just remember like I found out about Twitch like maybe like 2016 and was a viewer at first to where I was watching people like Angry Pug or Jen Denise or Hexy playing DBD as well as like others and other genres and stuff too. But I saw them playing DBD and I played it too. I'm like, oh, this is cool to watch and everything. So I started from there and I'm like, I'd like to try this. I'm good at games. So I honestly started off streaming with PUBG and then focused more into DBD from there. But that's pretty much like how I got into it. Like I said, I have a really big passion for gaming, and it's always been part of my life. And if I can do it for a job and stuff like that, then cool. Obviously, it doesn't work out that way right off the bat, but like you definitely have to work and grind. But that was the reason behind it. I thought I could something I'd love to do, and if I can make money doing it, but like, can you complain? Ugh.
So was the goal whenever you started streaming, was it to get partnered? So you that would be your job, or were you just like doing it more as a hobby?
So I was doing it more as a hobby like the first year. I definitely wasn't like super consistent, didn't really have like too much of a schedule and everything, and I did start cracking down more and pursuing more things, but it was mostly like a hobby. Got a little bit more serious with it, but still treated it as a hobby because it's not something that's easily turned into a job at all.
Yeah,
But
definitely some grinding.
yeah, I mean, I worked and went to school on top of streaming, or worked and stream and school and stream, one of the two, or the combo of the three. But it was mostly a hobby at first for me.
Do you see yourself getting away from DBD? Or are you gonna just stay on it?
Have a love hate relationship with Dead by Daylight, and I'm very transparent about that. I enjoy the game a lot to where I can play either side. Sometimes it's a little bit on the annoying side or on the boring side, and I do my best to like try to get through it. There's good and bad days. This is like anything on that one, but I love Dead by Daylight. I always have, and I do plan to stay with it. Um, as far as I do want to branch out more into variety, which I have been doing, which has been a blast, and I want to keep pursuing that because I don't want to be forever stuck in Dead by Daylight to where the point is if Dead by Daylight for some reason fails, then I have nothing. So I
Yeah,
want to grow, but I want to grow into stuff that I want to play, and which is a good variety of things. But it is my main game. It will stay my main game. Um, as long as I'm able to keep playing it.
what about HSHS? Are you gonna get into that one? Are you gonna try to get partnered with that one?
So I've been playing a little bit here on stream, and I have reached out to them and put in my application for it. Obviously, I need to put more time into it and stuff like that, and show the dedication there. And if they start opening up that process of partnering people, then I'd love to pursue that route. But it is an early access game. All we know next week is it could be gone to where they
That's
don't
true.
put much effort into it. So it's still in that area where I'm keeping my eye out. I'm definitely going to invest some time into it. It's a very fun game, and I think it definitely has a good solid foundation and a good route that it can go and compete with behavior. So, which is good for both of them. So I'm looking forward
Absolutely.
to it.
Absolutely. So you started streaming. Have you ever had a time that you were just like, I don't want to do this anymore? And you hit that struggle point where we all kind of hit where we're like, I'm not any good at this. I think I should quit.
Dude, that question pops up in my head sometimes daily or even weekly, even with being partnered on Twitch. That question always hits me. Like, am I doing good? Am I doing the best that I can? What can I do better? There's been times where I've took like a week break off or a 2 week break off, and I try not to do anything like that because it never really hits me that hard. But there's a couple times where I've took a couple days off, to where I'm just not in the mood to stream because it's a lot of energy, man. You wake up in a bad mood. It's so hard to content create in a bad mood because like it shows in your tone and in your facial expressions or whatnot. So like there's a lot of aspects to it. It's not like, oh my god, this guy's playing a video game and he's good at it. Like you gotta it's a struggle. It definitely is. Like the first time I was getting partnered was when I applied to get partnered was back in 2019. And I got denied, and I was going to TwitchCon, and found out I got denied when it came back. But like I took a little bit of a break there, and on top of IRL stuff that I had to take care of. But like it was a refreshing break to where I'm like I knew I can get there, but at the same time, that question hits you. You it's always a struggle. I don't think that's ever going to change for me. I think that's always going to be a question that I'm constantly asking myself because I always want to improve.
Well, that's good. It's kind of like the mortality thing. Always room for improvement. I think if you learn something every stream, you're doing pretty good. Which
Oh yeah, man.
I've always enjoyed your content. And I've always enjoyed your community. You always get washed in love whenever you come over there, and everybody's like, I love communities like that.
They're a bunch
And
of goobers, dude.
yeah, you've got a good one. The community days where you play with Running Man and everything else, those are always a blast. And how did you get into the GG Gamers?
So, RM approached me when Tally actually approached me when RM was starting up the stream team, and for me it was a no brainer. Like that's not something I'm gonna say no to because I'm good friends with RM. I've known RM since we were both barely double digit in DBD, barely double digit. Dan, I met through him and Cope and everything, and just always been good friends. And Tally, I met through RM, so there's people that I normally hang out to, whether in my stream or their streams. So like, it's just like a good family environment for me, to where they're people that I highly uh, trust and always want to hang out with whenever I have the opportunity. So being asked to join their stream team, like, there was no question about it. I was going to say yes to that, regardless if we do anything extravagant with it or if it's just like a little title kind of thing. Either way.
Yeah, which congratulations on being a part of that. And it's cool that you guys are actually accepting, new candidates to be a part of it. And I think you guys have a great group right now. Like literally everybody that's in the group, they're all homies. Like there's not
Oh,
a
for
one
sure.
person's chat who I can't go in and hang out, and have a good time.
There's a couple members that are a little bit stinky, but they're all right. One of them's like a wannabe nurse main, and he's trying just a little bit. He's got a little bit to learn, though. He might be some world record holders. I'm just lazy, so let him have his titles. I'm sure he knows who he is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does. He's probably getting ready to say something in chat. Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
No, but
So
it's a good group, man.
is nurse like your go-to killer? Would you consider yourself a nurse main or?
Oh man, Dead by Daylight's been a long road and a windy one for me. I originally started off as a Trapper main, but this is also back when there was only Trapper, Billy, and Wraith. When Nurse came out, I definitely dived into her more. I was probably only playing her as far as when I played Killer for probably the next like 1,500 hours. And then I did play some Survivor. I've always been a pretty decent Survivor, despite me not being able to skill checks and everything. But always been a good nurse main. I've always loved playing her. She's always been the strongest. I just enjoy it. And then a good friend of mine, Umbra, got me into Huntress and started tossing the hatchet around and getting used to that. And that quickly like overtook like the playing field for me on what I played, and dived into some Billy and started playing the top 3 at the time. This is way back in the day at this point, to where I started going to a variety killer, which was also thanks to RM. RM kind of has always been like a good friend, and we've always bounced ideas off each other as far as how we can improve our streams and everything, to where he's like, why don't you play other killers and start taking requests? So I kind of did a similar aspect of him doing build requests for free and everything like that, except for I was going insane with it. No mither builds and running Insidious Bubba all the time is it's not something my mindset can handle all day every day. But I still do the request, but just without the build part for free. So I'm able to do that. But that's kind of where my road has been with DBD, to where now I feel like I'm more of a 50-50 main and not just a killer main anymore.
I mean, I'm sure that's better too. It's probably better, to help break it up. That way the burnout's not as bad. You switch sides, and it's almost like taking a break.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm approaching 6,000 hours in Dead by Daylight, which is a lot. It's more hours than I put into a single game, more than anything else. So being able to play like 2 hours of Killer and start playing a Killer match, Survivor match here and there, and then focus on just Survivor at the end of the stream is definitely like wonderful for the mindset. And playing every single Killer at a high level as on request, or Survivor on request, everything too helps. Definitely helps me keep a stronger mindset for it.
So moving forward, do you have any goals set right now for your stream?
I mean, being back on this schedule, so I'm kind of like regrowing again to where I left off at originally. So I'm in that process of grinding, and I still want to keep the mentality of playing any killer or survivor that anyone wants me to, whenever they want me to. I'm still trying to. I haven't really dived too much back into the educational side, which I'm actually been working on a video for, which will be next week, which is awesome. So I'm gonna start diving back into that, to where I'm able to not only to sit there and shoot the shit with whoever that comes in the chat, but I can also be able to explain what I'm doing during that match, how I'm gonna do it, why I'm doing it, and why I'm gonna 4K in a minute.
Can you explain what the video is about, or is that something that's a surprise?
No, I can talk about it. I've talked about it on stream. So I'm working on a video on how to properly counterloop as killer. It's going to go over majority of the structures and loops that you're going to see in the game. Um, Still a work in progress. I spent 3 hours on it today, and I still got some more hours to put into it. But a pretty basic guide on how to properly counter loop. How to moonwalk, as well as like understanding pathing and zoning while you're playing killer and everything too. But I want to kind of get into that route as well as doing highlight videos and build requests for YouTube and other things. I'm sure I'll dive into more too, but I definitely want to focus a little bit more on the education side. I feel like a lot of people that come into the stream always have a question about Dead by Daylight, and I explain to the best of my ability. And we have people come in and how do you play this killer so well, and how do I do that kind of questions, and always try to like explain it. And it's always nice, just like helping people, and it's like a humbling opportunity at the same time.
So, how do you handle somebody like if somebody comes in after a game and they're like really, bantery, just saying stuff that you're not a fan of? How do you handle them?
I wonder if my voice mod will pick up on this right now. But so I have a voice mod program, but essentially, um,
Yeah.
it really depends on the mood. To be honest, if I just if I've had a bunch of it, you might be the unlucky guy to where I just go straight to the ban and just not deal with it. Put your unbanned request in. Totally fine with me. I get it. Everyone's a human. You get frustrated in the match or whatnot. But typically, someone comes in and it's like, how dare you kill me, you dirty tunneling camping killer? And I just sit there and like explain to them, you ran at me while injured after getting unhooked, and you don't want, and I shouldn't hit you. Should I go sit in the corner? Like I'll break it down and explain my reasoning behind it, as far as for the educational purpose of it, to maybe they'll learn something, understand why a killer would do that. But if they're not willing to hear that part out, usually I just go ahead and start making fun of them, and then they get a 10-minute timeout. And if for some reason they stick around for 10 minutes and want to keep going, then they get banned. If they We've had people that stick around and become members of the community, So I try to be respectful, but there's only so much times you can be called certain names and everything to where it's like, no, not today. It doesn't affect me at all though. Like, it's not gonna get me frustrated or mad. Like, I've been around the block, man. I don't care if you call me whatever name. If you cool off enough to where you're able to chill, then cool. But if you can't, then bye. Because I don't. It doesn't bother me any at all. I don't need them around.
No, no, for sure. Like I said, you've got a great community, and most of them probably jump on them before you do.
I try to actually not let them do that. I don't want my community actively defending me because I'm not always in the right. There are times where I've had someone come in and be salty about me tunneling them, and I absolutely tell them, yes, I tunneled you. I 100% tunneled you. And if they want me to watch the VOD back, I will with them. Like, I'll explain in detail why I did it. And usually because it's like gen pressure, or because they had borrowed time and was body blocking, or whatever it may be the reason. Like, I'm an honest dude. I'll tell you if I'm doing it and why I'm doing it. And it's not like it's against the rules. So like, I
Yeah.
try to play fairly. I don't got my way for it, but I'm pretty honest when it comes down to it.
And that's one of the things that really irritates me though, whenever people want to tell killers how to kill you. You know? Like I don't
I
I've never understood that personally. I mean,
I I usually hit them right back with like, well, you're doing gens and looping, so why can't I do this? That's part of my side of it. Like, if you don't want me to, go after you, then can you not go do that gen right in front of me? Like, it's you gotta like keep it under. You gotta keep in mind that they're only seeing their perspective of that match. They're not seeing yours. And that's the same thing for me. I'm not seeing their perspective either. That guy just got unhooked. I don't know who unhooked him. I can't find him. Yes, I tunneled you, but it's because I couldn't find the guy that got you. It's not like I'm trying to go for you. Some cases that's true. I am trying to go for you because you have a key or whatever at that point. But like, it's hard to, when you're heated in the moment, it's hard to think of both perspectives on why someone would do that. Some people can, some people can't. Some people are willing to listen, some people aren't.
oh well, hack them. But
I'm
on
not
your
worried.
request builds, is it more so that you get more meme builds or do you get more serious builds?
With the free, so I do. We've been doing free build requests this week. I kind of feel like I get a good 50-50 right now. Um, but what I consider a meme might not be like a complete meme to people. Um, for me in Dead by Daylight, when it comes to like build requests, there's a sweaty build style that you have, which you typically have your regression perk, your tracking perks, and your anti-loot perks, right? It usually makes a core set build for Dead by Daylight. Um, when people want me to run something that involves, let's say, Starstruck, a new killer perk that just came out, right? I don't really view that perk as something sweaty. To me, it's more memey because of the situations it can like provide or whatnot. It's not something like instantaneously that's useful all the time. So I don't really. I prefer build requests that involve me having a strong build, preferably, or at least a reasoning behind it. You want me to do an anti-heal build? I can definitely play that play style for you and educate you on how to use that build. But you want me to run no mither with self care? Sure, I'll do it for the right price, but like it's not fun. Like
Yeah.
it's goofy and memey, but it ain't fun.
I will say, I'll tell you, one time I did the meme build where I ran no mither and our entire team did it. And you know who the killer was? Polly Cypher.
Oh, and
You
one
know how
cipher.
yeah, you know how fast that match was?
What was he
Probably
playing?
about I think it was Huntress. If
Oh,
I
he
remember
can't
right,
hit
it
a
was
hatchet.
Huntress. I think it was Huntress.
I
Could
love
be
Paul,
wrong.
just so you know, but he can't throw hatchets.
I'm pretty sure that match was like 3 minutes. It
Oh,
was
he's a good
probably
dude.
close to a record, which I don't know if the record counts if you're playing against a bunch of no mither memers, but
I think it
I'm sure it
does.
counts.
Or actually, I don't think it does because of no mither. I think that's actually one of their rules, but I think D would be like the better guy to ask that one.
Probably. But so you've got mod systems. You actually have channel points where if you get 2.5 million, you can become a mod. Well, how do you look for mods? What do you look for?
So the redemption for the mod, I mean, if you somehow save up to it, I'll own up to it and give you mod status. Like that's a lot of points. If you do that, go for it. I don't recommend doing that. But as far as like mod applications go, I just have an application set up through Google, like their documents and whatnot, to where you fill stuff out and you can submit the application. I'll post a link whenever I feel like I need to get extra mods in there or whatnot, and basic questions on whether you're on PC or mobile or both. This is the time that I start to stream. This is the time I typically end. Are you able to be here for all of it? Kind of thing. What are you comfortable with doing? Or as a mod, what are stuff that who do you already mod for? Like, there's a bunch of different questions on that. But basically, I always look for someone that's going to be active, um, social at the time too. Welcoming people in or able to answer questions I might not see during a match at times, or reference them to maybe a YouTube video in the future if I have what's the best build for doctor kind of question. Then hey, here's a YouTube video that he's done that can help you kind of thing. So someone that's able to be social, active, and understand the mindset for me and the rules of the community and be able to enforce them too. My mods are just like me. They might not be in front of the camera, but they just have as much power as I do. To where if they say something and you don't listen, it's not like I'm gonna stick up for you. I'm gonna defend my mods in a heartbeat.
What about VIPs?
VIPs to me are people that are either IRL friends with me that hang out on the stream, um, have been long term friends in the community for me. So RM's a good example, or Umbra's been a good example, or Katie or someone that has like VIP in my channel, or it's in this like area where it's someone that hangs out on a regular basis. It's something that they can redeem through the channel points, but it is also something that I'm constantly adjusting every month or so too. Some people like to get that badge and then like never show up again, which is fine. People have lives and whatnot, but I want to have that badge on someone that's, hanging out and being a goober all the time. And, there's nothing wrong with not coming to the stream or anything. I totally respect it. But it's, for me, it's someone that's, kind of always there.
Right on. Um, sorry, my neck just like made all kinds of cracking noises. I don't know if you said that. I saw spots for a second. I apologize. I just
Damn,
lost my
dude.
train of thought and everything. Um, So looking forward, you said you're staying with DBD and
Mhm.
you've been playing variety. Are you ever going to go straight to horror variety?
So right now, the like my ideal day as streaming goes is to try to hit the 6 hour mark of Dead by Daylight. After 6 hours, it's up in the air depending on the day. Sometimes we might have Home Sweet Home scheduled, or maybe Resident Evil playthrough because we're playing through RE4, or it might be this new game that just came out. So like when Outriders came out, we streamed that a couple times too. So I am going to focus on certain things, like playing through Resident Evil, something I'm going to do. But once I'm done with Resident Evil, that's going to fall off, and we'll maybe dive into The Last of Us and Last of Us 2 or something, right? So I am going to stick to definitely the horror side of things, but I'm not afraid to go play the new Call of Duty or play the new Hello Kitty Island Adventures. Like, I'm just tossing out game names at this point. Like, I'll play whatever on stream at this point as long as I want to and I'm gonna have fun with it, or for some reason it's like a subathon goal. Like we had one on there that we haven't hit yet, but it's I don't remember the name of it, but Ruru put it on there, and it's gonna be an interesting game if we hit that goal.
It's a horror game?
No, it's a dating sim game, so that's always gonna be fun, you know.
It's probably that one that Tally was playing that one time, and it was just straight ridiculous.
I don't remember. Oh, it's the KFC one. It's like a KFC dating sim game. But like I'll play whatever on stream, man. But like the main thing is DBD and the variety is gonna vary. But I do let everyone know like every Sunday I'll post in Discord or Twitter. It's like this is the plan. We'll be doing this on this day and so forth throughout the whole week. And it's kind of what to expect or whatever. And I always iterate it throughout the streams and end of the stream kind of thing too.
So how do you bait chat into a conversation?
That's always a tough one, dude, because you can't. It's if I'm sitting there playing, it's like I can always ask the question, and sometimes you're not gonna get a response. You don't want to keep sitting there trying to force a conversation, though. So like sometimes chat's quiet. They want to be comfy little lurkers and do their thing. But like if you're sitting there, hey guys, what's your favorite kind of pizza? And then you hear crickets. Hey guys, what's your favorite kind of pizza? And you hear more crickets. You probably not keep asking the question. Maybe dive into a different way um to like what's the word I'm looking for to be able to like communicate on stream because you can talk in different ways. It doesn't have to be with chat. You can describe what you're doing, talk about random things or whatnot. But as far as like driving conversation, like someone comes in the chat, I always welcome them in. I say good morning, I ask them how they're doing. So I do have like a little bit of a personal feel with it. Um, I'll have a question of the day kind of scenario going on where I might ask this question throughout the stream and that will generate chat going and stuff too. But usually I just try to chill with it. I don't try to like force it in any way because I don't want to be unnatural. And I think bots can help a lot with that too, to where they're also doing the same thing you're doing, but in the typing perspective of it. It just depends. Just don't
So
force it though.
you don't do the Dan thing where you're just like pineapple pizza's ass. You don't just
Like
go
the
for
random
that.
facts or random statements, I'll do that too. Like it depends on the mood and depends on what the conversation's been at too. There's like I feel like the one thing I say a lot if I'm like uh just randomly I'll just be like stinky goobers, y'all stinky, but I'd appreciate you or something like that. Like there's stuff I say like frequently or whatnot that I have like my catchphrases or whatnot, I guess is the best way to put it. But I don't really feel like that is trying to force conversation. It's just me being me and
Yeah.
being what the community is.
How did you come up with the Goober slogan?
So my mom, that was my nickname growing up. She always called me a goober. Me and my little brother always got called goobers by her. It was like our nickname and everything. And it wasn't what I did at first. That was actually like just something I said it one day, and then I don't remember who was like, "I'm not a goober." I'm like, "Yeah, you're a goober. You're definitely a goober." And it just kind of stuck from there. I'm just like, okay, that feels natural. I can roll with it. Like it's not like it's a bad term in any way. It's you pretty much like a goofball is what it like ends up being. But I guess for us it's like more of a term like of endearment now at this point. But that's how the Goobers thing came along. Just randomly happened one day, and we stuck with it.
What's your most anticipated game right now?
Oh, there's a few games coming out, man. I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 8. Definitely gonna be playing that. Gonna be playing a lot of that. Really looking forward to that. There's another game that's coming out for closed beta next week, which is called Scavengers, another BR type, which I don't know if we can stream it yet. If I can, I'm definitely gonna put some time into that as well. New World's an MMO that I'm gonna be diving into pretty heavily, so I'll probably be doing very long streams, at least when that comes out, just because I love playing MMOs. And after that, Halo's probably the next one for me at the end of the year. That's on my radar right now. I've always been a Halo nerd. We've talked about it. So I'm looking forward to those ones right now.
Yeah, surely there's not a poster behind you that suggests that you like Halo.
No, I don't see one. I don't see one at all.
That's fair. That's fair. So, what's the Scavengers game? What is that? Is that the pirate one?
No, so Scavengers, I don't know too much about it. I've watched like one video on it. Looks like a third-person BR system in a like freezing environment. You have to go collect these like nodes for points, and you have to escape with it. But you're also fighting off. It's a PVE VP game, so you have enemy NPCs that you have to fight off and get gear from, as well as players that want to steal the stuff that you gathered, or you steal their stuff that they gathered or whatnot. So it's I guess it'd be kind of similar to Hunt Showdown to an extent, but they're labeling it as a BR right now, so that's what I'm going off of. But it looks cool. I found out about it the other day, so it's not something I'm like super familiar with at all.
So, do you favor first person shooter more, or do you just like the game type like Dead by Daylight?
Dead by Daylight's probably the outcast for me from all the games that I've ever played. I've always grew up playing mostly shooters like Halo or Call of Duty, or RPG games like Elder Scrolls or Fallout or Final Fantasy stuff and MMOs. Dead by Daylight wasn't the first asymmetrical because I did play Evolve, which is probably why I got into Dead by Daylight mostly. Was how like I don't know, like Dead by Daylight was one of the games where I enjoyed it, but it was definitely something I wasn't familiar with, which was also why it was super exciting at the same time, because it was scary to play and something I could play multiplayer with friends and hang out with people and whatnot. So like getting the DBD was more of that aspect. It's not something that it's not something like I put time into like when it comes to like Halo or whatnot. I guess I don't know how to explain it, but it's definitely the outcast of games for me. That I now is like my main thing that I play. So,
And you said that you did like Halo tournaments and stuff, and you were on a team.
so it was like local and state stuff, nothing like major. This you got to keep in mind, like esports wasn't really like a huge thing for us back then in high school. It started just coming around to where it started being like a bit more popular and everything. So like as far as like like it was nothing to like be like, oh my god, you made a lot of money playing Halo. No, I did not. I made like $50 at a local tournament and maybe like 150 at another one that was like a couple hours away for one of the state ones. So it was nothing like no big deal, no recognition kind of thing. It was more just going for fun. But I did PUBG semi-pro for about a year, which was a lot of fun.
So, how long have you been streaming now?
So I started streaming. We just celebrated like 3 years, like March. So 2018, March 2018 is when I pretty much started streaming when I got affiliate. So 3 years now.
When did you get partner?
Last September. So I've been partnered. Oh, math, dude, math's hard. I don't know, like was that like 6 months now, something like
Yeah,
that. Half a year
I
been
mean,
partnered now.
it's. I think it's 7, but we'll go with 6. It sounds good.
Look, dude, small brain killer, man. That's all I got.
I respect it. I respect it.
I'm not required to do math, man.
So, whenever you got affiliated, did you go hard and just go full time streamer, or when did you go
No,
full time?
Um, I didn't go full time right off the bat. It was still more of a hobby when I got affiliate. I was definitely inconsistent. School was my main focus, so if I could stream, I would stream. I definitely tried to have a schedule as much as I could. But it was mostly like, yeah, I can stream Monday through Friday at this time, but I can't guarantee that I'll be live on those days because school would be the main factor for me. So it was kind of like that with it. It was more of a hobby, trying to be more professional about it and everything. But that was usually like my first approach. I probably didn't get more serious until 2019 is when I started to get like more focused into it, which is when I almost got partnered then. But IRL stuff and a bunch of other stuff, like, life happens, so you don't have. I didn't get to keep doing it that way. But once I moved to Kansas with Lucy, is when I was able to kind of sit down and actually have more of a support system and go more ham on it and put in the work and everything to get the accomplished goals that I wanted to accomplish.
So this is kind of a not serious question. This is more for me.
Mhm.
You can answer this question, and then we'll start taking questions for the community. So if you guys got questions, go ahead and get them ready. You can go ahead and type them in chat if you want to. We'll read them. But this is a question for me.
Mhm.
What in the hell is Dowsy saying in your alert?
Oh man. I think he's saying, "Is Lucy there?" Oh shoot, I don't even remember. I have to play it. Let me
It's
look.
like, can I sign your bobs or something like that?
Yeah, can I sign your Bobs? Wait, is Lucy there? I think is what he's saying. Um, so the sign Bob thing, we have a BTTV emote in my stream and one of my friends, Kenji's stream. That's always been around for us. One of my artists here have made the emote and let us put it on BTTV, and it's always been more of a joke thing. Um, and Dowsy said that one day when I was hanging in there. I think I resubbed, asking if he could sign my Bobs, and he said that he would. So easy. But that's just one of the alerts. I don't know, something
You
something
know how
goofy and
long?
funny.
Like I heard that so many times because somebody dropped like a 50 bomb and like you were playing it through, and I'm like, what is Dowsy saying in this? I have no idea.
I'm always like when it comes to like the bigger like gifted subs, like whether it be like 5 or 50. There's times where I'm just like, do I just mute this? But then like I feel bad too because like that person, I want that person to feel special when they do it, so I want the alert to go off for them. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I love Dowsy. Josh is a very good dude, but hearing him say the same thing in the alert over and over and over in the 50 bomb is a little bit on the like, God, can it end already?
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of had the Wayne's World, the We're Not Worthy. That's my sub thing. And I got 100 bomb, and everybody kind of wanted to kill me. They're like, can you please shut that off?
I haven't had
like,
anyone complain, so
we love Wayne's World, but please just stop it. Any tips for people just starting out streaming?
that's a big question. Yeah,
Or could we actually ask him that at the end? Like I say, hey, right now we're going to give you tip, have Soul give you some tips.
do
But
you want me to
that's
dive into
okay.
it now or at the end?
You can go ahead
Yeah,
or
so when it
skip
comes
it.
to streaming, don't go into it with the mindset that this is going to be my 9 to 5 job. The chances of you making it on Twitch is very, very low. I haven't made it on Twitch. There's people that you guys watch that haven't made it on Twitch yet. Some of us have a lot more income versus others and stuff like that too, which definitely makes it a little bit more doable. But it's not something that you're going to go live and you're going to instantly have 100 viewers kind of thing. It's a lot of work and dedication. You have to know what you want to do with it. You got to find your brand, find the way you want to stream and how you're going to produce that content, and you have to be consistent with it. Have that schedule, do it every single day. Then you have to network on top of it. Who do you want to have in your community? Who's the close friend? Is it going to be this Running Man guy who whiffs a lot? Is it going to be Rupture who looks like a Bill? Is it going to be D who thinks he's a god gifted gamer but he's not? Like you. You gotta have these people you're gonna be close to, but then you gotta figure out how you're gonna approach the communities and not self promote and get to know people. So like, it's a lot of work. It's not something that you should take lightly. Like getting partner for me when I was starting to get close, I was probably doing like 80-hour work weeks just with streaming, networking, community management, social medias, and YouTube stuff. Like it's a lot of work. It's not something easy, but if you're doing it for a hobby, then you don't have anything to really worry about. Just be actively talking all the time, be consistent, and do your thing, and just have fun with it. And then if you start getting to that partner like range to where you're getting close to apply, then you can take another look at things and figure out what you need to do to push that to the next level.
Who's a good killer for someone new to killer?
Wraith. That's the easy answer, dude. I feel like I get asked like who should I play if I'm gonna learn killer, and I always tell them Wraith. The reason behind that, Wraith has Wraith is a lot of fun. Personally, I enjoy him. He's not a weak killer in any means, but his ability kit it's not over the top to where you're gonna instantly down people and not learn how to chase. It's not super stealth worthy to where you're gonna not or they're uh, like he's a good all around killer to where he's not going to impact a game super easily for you in any of the aspects, whether it's monitoring gens, so like awareness or how to counter loop and everything. There, he's going to do it well, but he's not going to be Nurse who goes through walls. He's not going to be Bubba who downs all four survivors on that gen. You know, like it's just a good starting point to where you can learn the basics when it comes to killing.
Cookie asks, why is Soul a stinky goober?
Because Cookie's a stinky goober.
That's fair. Okay, D asks, Soul, besides yourself, who would you consider the best killer in DBD and why?
There's a few, dude. I like that question. I feel like it's always a weird question to ask when someone's like, "Hey, who's the best nurse player? Who's the best huntress player?" Um, there's always that someone that one tricks. There's always someone that's going to be better than you. So like, Alf is a really good nurse player, better than me because I don't one trick. Umbra is a really good huntress player, better than me because I don't one trick. But then you have people like Otts and Dowsy who play every killer at a pretty high level. So like it's just like it's a toss up on that one. As far as like who is the best killer out there besides myself, I it, I'm gonna chalk it up to the one tricks that are dedicating that time just to that killer. So the nurse one trick, the huntress one trick, or whatever. But if we're talking about variety killer main, outside of myself, it's an easy toss up for me is Otts or Dowsy at that point. And then the one tricks are gonna vary on the person.
Yeah, which is all, really subjective.
Yeah, I mean we all have different play styles, right? Like Dowsy is like if you have I think like Otts if we use Otts at one end of the spectrum where he's more laid back and not like super sweaty all the time, then you have Dowsy who is very, very sweaty, which is nothing wrong with either of those play styles. What you prefer is what you want to do, right? Then you have anyone in between. Our skill level might be the same, but our play style might not be.
Do you have any tips for anyone just starting out on DBD, killer or survivor sided?
Yeah, buy Cannibal. That way you can get barbecue and chili. And is Bill purchasable or is he free? I don't even remember at this point.
I think he's purchasable on a PC, but I think they gave him away on Xbox.
Yeah, then buy Bill on Survivor for We're Gonna Live Forever. Those two perks right there are gonna drastically help you unlock everything in the game because it's a huge, huge grind, which hopefully they change soon. But those are my two recommendations. Whichever side you're gonna go, get Cannibal, unlock barbecue, pick a killer that you want to invest more stuff into to unlock their perks, and then find the killer that you want to main and get the perk build you want and start grinding to unlock everything. And the same exact end on same side for Survivor.
Does anybody else have any more questions? Got anything else you want to lay on, Soul?
Ask anything, guys. I'm down for whatever.
So as far as networking goes, starting out, did you do any networking? Do you still network a little bit?
I network all the time. It's not something that you can ever stop doing as a streamer. More so if you want to grow more too, because it's the more I grow is the better for my friends. The more my friends grow, the better for me too. At the same time. So when I first started streaming, I learned the hard way of hey, come check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Soulfury after you get done streaming while you're live. Enter. So I did do that when I first started streaming. Don't do that. Like I was lucky enough to have someone right off the bat tell me, "Hey, dude, just so you know, that's really bad etiquette." So like I don't try to yell at people when they do it because maybe they just don't know any better. But I just start networking right off the bat. Variety games or just DBD communities and whatnot. Like me and RM is a good example. Cope's another good example. We've all kind of just, we knew each other from within the game and stumbled across each other, and we realized that we all started streaming, kind of thing, and that friendship began. Then one of RM meets Dan, and I'm like, oh my god, that dude is a red panda. I fucking love him now. And I start hanging out there, and me and Dan become friends. And then it's like, oh, Rupture, dude looks like Bill that I met from this person, and start talking to him, and it's that it just never stops expanding. But you have your close group that you are very comfy with, and it's always nice to meet like new people, and you always want to meet new people because it's you want people to be able to host you, but you want to be part of their community. It's not like they're just gonna host you because it's you kind of thing. You got to put effort into it, but it's you can't ever stop networking. Um, it's a big part of growing on Twitch.
Rupture actually asks, I know a lot of Huntress mains, Umbra, Coconut, Robo Kyle, use crosshairs. Do you?
I have. I've showed it on stream. What's the difference is of me playing with Crosshair and not playing with Crosshair. If I'm consistently playing with her, like if I'm playing her nonstop for 8 hours, Monday through Friday kind of thing, I don't. There's not much of a difference when it comes to a Crosshair. I have used it to show people that what it's like and how it affects a match. And in all honesty, when you get to a certain point with her, the only thing the Crosshair is going to do is help you line up the shot horizontally, because you still have to adjust your aim naturally for the vertical aspect of it for the arc. So it doesn't really do anything else besides the horizontal lock-in kind of scenario. If they're on that gen all the way across the map, so you line it up, but it's not going to help you with the arc or anything from that aspect. But yeah, I've played with it. Um, um, you can do like a third-party program. I usually don't play with a crosshair just because I I play what's on request, so it's not. If I played her and specifically her, I'd probably use a crosshair until I got back into the groove of being like extremely good with her, but not so much. My monitor technically has one built in, but I don't like having a crosshair up when I'm watching Netflix. So I'm just kind of more of a lazy side of it. But I personally don't think there's anything wrong with using the crosshair or not. It only affects the one outcome. It's not like it's going to help me hit you 3 feet away. You're right there already. I'm gonna either hit you because I can or can't. Same thing with the arc shots or whatnot.
What's your favorite part of streaming?
Oh man, hanging out with everyone, man. Like the gaming part's always fun, but I can do that without hitting the live button. Like I can go play DVD right now and go have fun or whatnot, but like sitting here having the conversation with whoever's in chat and knowing what they're going through or how their day was, you know, sharing in the life experiences and stuff like that, and just that's my favorite thing when it comes to streaming, is just being able to get to know people and be, I guess you're kind of like a role model to an extent, right? To like at least to them in some scenarios, but just trying to be a good guy and show them there's another way to do something, but it's talking to people. Just have the community part is my favorite part about streaming. Um, if I say it all the time, dude. Like when it comes to streaming, if I have 50 people there and no one's talking, it's totally fine. I'm not upset or anything by any means, but if I have 50 people there and all 50 are talking, I can guarantee you there is a shift in the mood. It's way more enjoyable having a very active chat versus having like a comfy like lurking chat. Neither one is wrong at all, and any streamer that tells you differently is wrong. Then they care too much about something. But it's definitely I tend to have more fun when I'm actively having conversations with people all the time versus doing the education part. When maybe chat's like dying, you'll see me do more of an educational route, so there's no dead air kind of thing. But that's my favorite part is community.
What do you think is the best way to network first starting out as a new streamer?
Man, it's not like there's a guide to it, man. You you play a match and you notice you play against a Twitchy, and maybe after stream you go back and watch the VOD and you're like, oh, this dude was pretty cool. So you follow him. And then you're not streaming the next day. You see that guy's live. You start hanging out in chat and start talking to him. Maybe he remembers you, or maybe he doesn't. But you start hanging out there, and then you host him one day, and he's grateful for it, and you start building that friendship kind of thing. That's probably like the best natural way to do it. Even if you don't run into them, like maybe like if we didn't know each other and like I hosted you today, right? Like scrolling through the directory, like, oh, this guy looks cool, well, looks like he's a pretty funny, goofy survivor. So I go and send him there, and we start becoming friends because I hosted you, kind of thing, or vice versa. Maybe you host me, and it's like, oh, dude, this guy was chill. So I go check out your stream. I guarantee you, if you are new to my community, you host or raid me, that I will go and watch your VOD, whether it be that night or the next day or that week. I tend to write down the names, and if I don't know them, I go and look at the VOD, and if I enjoy the content, I follow. If I don't, I'm still appreciative of what you did. It's just not for me. But that's usually what I end up doing.
Well, in closing, do you have anything you'd like to tell them? Any form of tips or anything to say goodbye?
Tips in like streaming: actively
Yeah.
talk, be consistent, have a schedule, and people will start coming to you. It doesn't matter. There's like key factors: being like entertaining, being very good at the game, and being someone that is interactive by talking in some way. Are like the three key factors for me. You don't need a webcam to do it. You don't need a fancy mic. There's stuff out there that can help you. YouTube's a great place to look at videos to kind of figure out how to adjust things. But those are like the three key factors that you should focus on. Whether you're doing two of the three, or maybe you are the shroud type and people will just flock to you because you're insanely good at the game or whatnot. But that's usually what I'd recommend. Focus on those three aspects and do them well, and try to differentiate yourself from someone else too. So this guy is the demo main. Maybe there's 100. We'll go with Huntress. There's like 100 of you guys out there. Maining Huntress on Twitch probably ain't gonna make you blow up. You know, but maining Trickster on Twitch might, because it's not like there's a bunch of Trickster mains out there right now that are claiming it. So maybe you become the best Trickster and you can blow up that way. But stuff like that. And then as far as saying goodbye, y'all stinky, y'all goobers, and hang out with Queso. He's a good dude, and we'll be watching movies, the new Mortal Kombat movie in Discord in about an hour and some change.
Wait, it's gonna be an hour.
What time is it right now? Yeah, an hour. So 3 p.m. Central. We'll be doing Mortal Kombat in my Discord.
Damn, I was hoping it was like right now. I was like pumped. I was gonna go grab some popcorn and I was gonna make it rain in here.
Look, dude, I'm hungry. I need nom noms. I got to make food and everything.
I understand. Well, dude, I appreciate the hell out of you. This has been a fantastic podcast, and I really appreciate you coming by. And you guys, give it up for Soulfury. Appreciate him. He's a fantastic dude. I've loved his content. He's pretty much a homie. Like, it's just one of those guys you hop in and you're like, just like, this guy's great, So I appreciate you coming on here.
No problem, man. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. It's nice to be able to like talk about this stuff too, because it's not like it's always something you're able to do while you're always like live streaming all the time. But anytime you need any help or anyone ever needs help, I treat everyone the same, whether you're affiliate or partnered. You're like, everyone is people, So feel free to reach out, and if you got questions, I'm more than happy to answer anything too.
Well, right on, man. I hope you have a good day and enjoy your noms. I'll see you later.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.
You too. All right, guys, that was Soulfury. Keep it going for him. That was a good ass time. He's a good ass dude. I appreciate you guys coming by today. This was the Cream of the Stream podcast. Don't forget that this is going to be on YouTube. So if you happen to miss part of it or whatever, go ahead and head on over there. Don't forget to subscribe, like it. And if you guys have any future candidates that you would like to come on to the podcast, let me know. Join our Discord. We have an entire channel just for this podcast. And we always are trying to look for new people to come on here that we can interview and talk to and have a good time. And, I hope to see you guys next time. I thank you. I thank you.